Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Unleashed. I'm Tom. I'm really happy you are here today because this episode is for you if you have ever felt confused, slow, frustrated, or even a little tired while learning English. Maybe you studied many words, but you forgot them. Maybe you listened to English, but people spoke too fast. Maybe you wanted to speak, but you felt nervous or unsure. And maybe at some point you ask yourself, why is this so hard for me? Let me tell you something important right at the beginning. If English feels difficult sometimes, that does not mean you are bad at learning languages. It does not mean you are not smart. And it definitely does not mean you cannot become fluent. It usually means one simple thing. You are facing very normal challenges. These are problems that almost every language learner experiences. And that is actually good news because when the problems are clear, the solutions are also clear. And when you understand what is happening, you can start improving in a smart and calmer way. So, in this episode, we are going to explore the most important challenges language learners face. And more importantly, we are going to look at practical solutions that you can use in your daily life. Not empty motivation, not theory only, real useful ideas. So, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin. All right. One major challenge is limited vocabulary. Vocabulary means words and phrases. This is one of the most frustrating problems for learners. You have an idea in your mind, you want to say something, but the words do not come. You know what you want to express in your own language, but in English, your sentence feels broken or empty. This is a real problem, but many learners try to solve it in a way that is not very effective. For example, maybe you want to explain your opinion, but you only know very basic words. Or maybe you want to tell a story, but you do not know the verbs you need. Or maybe you understand a podcast, but you cannot use the same language in your own speech. This is a real problem, but many learners try to solve it in a way that is not very effective. They make long vocabulary lists. They memorize many words alone without context. They look at a word, then look at the translation, then move to the next word. After some time, the words begin to disappear. Why does this happen? Because language lives in context. Words are easier to remember and easier to use when they come inside useful phrases and natural sentences. So instead of learning only the word advice, learn the phrase, "Can I give you some advice?" Instead of learning only the word decision, learn the sentence, "It was a difficult decision." That brings us to the next challenge, which is forgetting new words quickly. You study a word today, you understand it, you even feel happy because it seems easy, but then the next day, it is gone. You see the word again and think, I know I studied this before, but what does it mean? This can feel discouraging. It can make learners think they have a bad memory. I have experienced that as well. But my friends, forgetting is part of learning. The brain often needs many meetings with a word before that word becomes strong. I have explained this process in another video. Think about it like this. If you meet a person only one time, you may forget their name. But if you see them again and again, you begin to remember them easily. Words are similar. So the solution is not to panic. The solution is review. Come back to words again and again. Read them, hear them, say them, use them. Write your own examples. Let's imagine you learned the phrase, take your time. Do not only read it once, use it in different ways. Take your time, there's no rush. I like to take my time when I study. Now the phrase becomes more familiar. It starts to belong to you. This is much better than trying to push 100 new words into your mind in one day. Slow contact, repeated contact, and meaningful contact are much more powerful. Okay, now let's move to another challenge. This challenge is different. Low confidence. Confidence means believing in yourself. It means feeling that you can do something. Many learners are not complete beginners. They know many words. They understand simple grammar. They can read, they can listen. But when it is time to open their mouth and speak, they suddenly feel weak. Their mind becomes empty. Their body feels tense. Their voice becomes quieter. Even easy English becomes difficult. This is not always because they do not know enough English. Sometimes it is because they do not trust their English. This is an important difference. Some learners do not need 10 new grammar rules. They need more calm practice. They need to feel again and again, yes, I can do this. So, how do you build confidence? Not by waiting, not by reading motivational quotes. No, not by telling yourself, one day I will be confident, or today I will be confident. No, confidence grows from action. Start with very small speaking moments. Ask yourself simple questions during the day and answer them in English. In the morning, ask, how do I feel today? Then answer, I feel okay, or I feel tired, or I feel good today. At lunch, ask, what am I eating? Then answer, I'm eating rice and chicken, or I'm having soup. This kind of practice may look small, but it matters a lot. It trains your brain to use English in real time. It also shows you something important. You already know more than you think. Okay, now let's talk about another important and common challenge: grammar confusion. This is a very big one. Many learners feel tired when they study grammar. They see many rules, many forms, many exceptions, and they think this is too much. Sometimes grammar books make learners feel even more stressed. There is so much information on the page that the learner does not know where to begin. This can make people feel overwhelmed. They may feel there is too much. They cannot handle it easily. So, what should you do? The answer is simple. Study grammar in small pieces. Do not try to learn everything at once. Do not try to understand all the tenses in one day. Do not try to master every rule immediately. Take one small grammar point and work with it slowly. For example, let's say you want to study the past simple. Start with easy examples. I watched a movie yesterday. She visited her friend last week. We played football after school. First, understand the meaning. Then, notice the pattern. Then, make your own examples. After that, use the grammar in your real life. What did I do yesterday? I cleaned my room. I called my mother. I studied English. This is much more useful than only reading grammar rules again and again. Grammar becomes stronger when you use it, not when you only look at it. Another challenge is translating everything from your first language. This happens to many learners. They want to say something in English, but first they think in their own language. Then they try to translate it word by word. This can make speaking slow. It can also create strange sentences. So, what is the solution? Start thinking in simple English step by step, not deep English, not advanced English, simple English. You can do this in daily life. When you wake up, think, I'm tired. When you look outside, think, it's sunny today. These are very small thoughts, but they are powerful. Keep it simple. Over time, it becomes more natural. All right, now let's talk about a challenge that causes many problems: inconsistency. Inconsistency means not doing something regularly. This is very common in language learning. A learner studies for 2 hours one day, then stops for several days, then studies again, then stops again. The learner wants progress, but the learning routine is broken again and again. This makes progress slower. Why? Because language learning needs contact. Your brain needs regular contact with words, sounds, phrases, and ideas. If that contact disappears for many days, it becomes harder to build momentum. So, what is the solution? Do less, but do it more often. This is very important. Many learners think they need a perfect study plan. They think they must study for 1 hour every day. If they cannot do that, they do nothing. But 5, 10, or even 15 minutes of real study is much better than nothing. You can listen to English for 10 minutes. You can read a short text at lunch. You can speak for 5 minutes in the evening. Small daily contact is powerful. It keeps English alive in your mind. All right, Now let's talk about not speaking enough. This is a very important challenge. Some learners spend a lot of time reading and listening, which is good. Input is important, but they almost never speak. Then one day, they try to have a conversation and they feel nervous, slow, and uncomfortable. This is normal. Speaking is a skill. You build it by using it. So try to speak every single day, even if for just 1 minute, even if for just 2 minutes. You can talk to yourself. You can describe your day aloud. You can answer simple questions. You can retell a short story. You can read a text aloud and then explain it in your own words. Or you can speak with AI, artificial intelligence, such as ChatGPT. Okay, now let's move to the last challenge, feeling stuck. This can be frustrating. You are still studying, but you feel the same. Your English does not seem to change. You begin to ask, why am I not improving? This is sometimes called a plateau. Do not panic. Plateaus are normal. They happen in language learning. They happen in music. They happen in fitness. They happen in many long journeys. A plateau does not always mean that growth has stopped. Sometimes it means growth has become less visible for a while. So, what is the solution? One solution is to change something. If you always use easy material, try something a little more difficult. If you only listen, add more speaking. If you only study grammar, read and listen more. If you always study alone, try speaking with a teacher or partner sometimes. Sometimes your brain needs a new challenge. Sometimes it needs deeper review. And sometimes it needs both. Okay, thank you so much for listening to another episode of English Unleashed. Language learning is not easy every day. Some days feel light, some days feel heavy. Some days you feel proud, and some days you feel tired. The important thing is to keep going. Keep learning in a simple way. Keep showing up. Keep using the language and keep trusting the process. Bye for now.